We've been studying for several weeks now how to heal yourself spiritually. And we've looked at the traditional way of healing, which is going to the doctor, getting medicine, hoping that all works. It's going to a holistic doctor and getting supplements, knowing that that's probably going to work. You can tell which side of this I fall on. And we've talked about the mental healing, which is positive thoughts. It's thinking your way through it. It's denying what is going on with you and seeing only truth, which brings us into the metaphysical, which is on a deeper level. It's knowing God and the perfection of God, working in that. And then the spiritual level, which is even deeper than that, that is where this consciousness of God is not even a thought. It's just an awareness. It's a knowing. It's just automatic. And so it took us about, 7 or 8 weeks to bring us to that point. And as we were wrapping up last week, I thought, we've talked about what needs to happen, but we haven't talked about how to get there. So in a moment, we're going to do a meditation. And this meditation is going to be how to more fully and more deeply connect with the oneness and the presence and the power of God that is within ourselves, everyone in this room, and all things. I want to just kind of bring you up to speed, though, on where we are with this healing, because this is going to tell you why it's important to know God, obviously, but it's going to give you an idea, a mental idea of what it is. To heal ourselves spiritually, it's vital to living a loving life, period. You're not going to live a life of love and peace, kindness, until you're aware to some extent of that oneness with God, that connection with God. There's a lot of kind people around here that say, no, I don't believe in God. Well, God believes in them. That's what it amounts to. This is God present. Kindness, love, understanding is God's presence expressing through us. We've talked about the necessity to realize God consciousness within, and consciousness is simply awareness. Awareness is knowing. Now, in the metaphysical and the mental treatments, whether we're treating for an illness or a situation or whatever it may be, we almost have to argue the point mentally in our minds. We have, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is all there is. The perfection of God is all that I can ever experience, so this over here has to be an illusion. It's just that mental process. It's kind of a bantering that goes on in our mind to get us to the point that we can fully realize God consciousness. Okay? When we move into the spiritual, that's just automatic. It just happens. When we can move just beyond that metaphysical, I call it a little hump. There's nothing wrong with this side, but if you take that hump, it smooths. It's like going through the tide and the waves at the ocean to get to that nice smooth seas, in my opinion. It's all beautiful. It's all a great experience. But when you get to that smooth sailing, then you can experience so much more. When we look at this world or even our own physical body and see anything that is imperfect, we are seeing only that which is out of harmony with God. Okay? When we see anything that's imperfect, whether it be illness, again, a situation, a flat tire, it's just that which is out of harmony with God. It's believing something that is not in alignment with God. It's God presence. It's not seeing the God presence in reality. It's seeing an illusion. Our consciousness of God is our consciousness with reality. It's very important to know that as we move through this life, because anything that's not in alignment with God is going to be seen as an issue, a problem, an illness. But it's not the truth. It's not reality. As we more fully embrace awareness of the omnipresent divine, we experience omni-action. As we open ourselves up to God consciousness, as we open that God consciousness to be seen and expressed and felt and experienced within us and in all of our life, we open ourselves to omni-action, which simply means that all action that we take is divine. So the more we connect, the more we open up to the realization of God consciousness, the more our actions become divinely inspired, the more they are true expressions of God. The only reason that we humans have limitations is because we created them. That truth irritates me beyond all belief sometimes, because I can look at situations in my life, and Kathy saw this week I was really upset about a couple of things, and when I stop and go, I created it, it's not always pleasant to realize that. But God doesn't create anything that's imperfect. We look at the news today and we see all kinds of stuff. Andy and I this morning, as he was walking in, were talking about the commercials that we see that are pounding into our heads. They're just bombarding us with all of this stuff about illness. Just about every commercial is about a medicine, because you've got to have this medicine so you can live that beautiful life. We're just bombarded with all this stuff. And the more we're bombarded with it, the more we have got to tap into the truth that is within us. We've got to see beyond those illusions. We've even got to deny those illusions. Just deny. They hold no truth. There's no reality to that. I wanted to read from you, before we get to our meditation this morning, I wanted to read from you a paragraph from the How to Heal Yourself Spiritually book that we've been studying from. And this speaks to what our perceived illnesses are all about. The paragraph says, many suffer from an allergy, but what is an allergy? It is believing something else has power besides God. It is a belief that something can affect the creation of God. It's believing that something can affect the creation of God besides God. It is a belief system, not a truth system. A truth awareness would realize only one power, and nothing outside of the one Creator has any power. With that, we can focus on omnipotence. We can know that nothing in the universe has any power other than the one Creator. It's another one of those realizations that when I start allowing a pain to bother me, and I start seeing it as truth, and then the realization comes over you that, oops, that's something I created. God didn't create that pain. And if God didn't create it, just how much power does it really have over me? How much do I need to let this affect my life? And when we own the truth that we decide how to let it affect our life, we may want to change our minds. The situation I was talking about with Kathy, that Kathy witnessed, about 2 or 3 days into it, I realized, I'm making this stuff. This is my creation. I don't like it, so maybe I need to figure out how to just tune back into God's creation, to the perfection of God. And that's a beautiful thing that I want every one of you to take away from here. Knowing God, knowing the power of God, knowing the presence of God, the wisdom of God within, does not mean bad stuff won't happen. Because we're human. And our human training, our human belief systems, the commercials that we see on TV are all going to come in and bombard us and make us think humanly. They're going to make us think human thoughts. We're going to react from the human training that we've had all our life. But the beautiful thing about us sitting here is we can correct ourselves. And I believe it's A Course in Miracles. They call the definition of sin is wrong thinking. So when we start thinking this human pattern, this human behavior, this humanness, that's wrong thinking. And the hell that we experience because of that wrong thinking is what we experience while we're thinking it. We break loose of hell and move into heaven, into the miracle, when we correct our thinking. But we can only do that by fully connecting with the truth within us, which is the omnipotence, the omnipresence, the omniscient God. That is our truth. When we seek to understand the nature of God, it is best to remember an old saying. It is not that we do not know so much. It is that we know so much that isn't so. Okay? We do. We have learned and adapted and adopted, and we've got so many things in our life that we have brought in thinking that we needed it. That we've brought in so we could deal with all of that that's out there. When we start letting that go and just start realizing the truth of God within us, we find ways to deal in a divine manner with all that we face. Our minds are like computers, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before we get to the meditation. Our minds are like computers. The data that we allow in is the data that's going to come back out. So the more we focus on what's out there, the more we focus on TV, the commercials, the negativity of the world, the more all of that absorbs into us, and that's what we're going to put back out. If we want to put out goodness, kindness, love, peace, we've got to bring in goodness, kindness, love, and peace. And we do that through our oneness with God. So as I said, we're going to do a meditation this morning as part of the talk. And so I want you to just get comfortable. You don't have to close your eyes yet. Just get very comfortable and just hear the words that I'm going to speak, and then I'll guide you through this. The inner peace and awareness of God consciousness is not always easy to realize, and sometimes it's even difficult to hold on to. You know, no matter how hard we try, even though once we recognize it, it's still easy to lose touch with it. When we're caught in the craziness of this life, it is difficult to find the tranquility of God. And we find that tranquility of God within. We get pulled into that belief so easily that it's all out there. It's not. It's right here. It's within. During the chaos of life, it is difficult to keep awareness of God's presence within. Just think of a time that your life got real chaotic. It's real hard to hold on to the truth that I experience this as God, that I express as God. The busyness keeps our focus out here, keeps our awareness out here, keeps us from awakening to truth. Since living with God consciousness provides pure healing, since awareness of God's omnipotence is critical for well-being and understanding, since feeling God's omnipresence throughout our entire being is essential to see the truth and the perfection of all of creation, since knowing the omniscience of God is vital to understanding the guidance we receive each day, we must know how to connect with these truths of God. We don't talk enough about how to get there. We talk a lot about what's needed. We're going to change that today. We're going to take time and we're going to create a method, a tool, if you will, that you can use in a regular practice to help you connect more deeply with God. You know, we talk a lot about meditation, and meditation is by far the best way to connect, to realize your oneness, to realize your truth. But people have a hard time with it sometimes. They think, oh man, I got to do this 20-minute meditation, and it's just so hard for me to stay still and focus for 20 minutes. And it's better to do 21-minute meditations if you can stay tuned in than it is to do one 20-minute meditation that you can't stay tuned in. Okay? This one's going to be not 20 minutes, but it's going to be a few minutes all put together. And the best thing to do is find the way that works for you. As we've talked about before, meditation is listening to God. It's listening in here. Don't get caught in listening to this figure that's sitting out here on the cloud, because you're going to be hearing everything else in the world that's going on before you hear God. God's out there, but God's also here. God's also within your heart. This is where you listen. Prayer is speaking to God. Meditation is listening to God. So this meditation will allow you to recognize God's presence within you and give you an opportunity to create an inner sanctuary that you can return to frequently and to deepen your recognition of God's truth within. So go ahead and just settle into your chair, begin to relax, and begin focusing on your breath. Just begin a gentle rhythmic breathing and allow your eyes to gently close if they're not there already. With each inhalation, breathe in peace. With each exhalation, let go of the chaos of life. Breathe in love and let go of anxiety. Let go of stress. Let go of fear. Continue your gentle, conscious breathing throughout this process. In order to know God's presence within, you must know that you are fully and perfectly safe right here, right now. You are safe here in this place. And you're about to create a safe space within you that allows you to find the safety and the support and the comfort and the love and the peace and the well-being that you need to recognize and connect fully with the presence of God. Bring into your awareness a place that offers such safety. This might be a place that you imagine. This might be a place that you have visited for, but this is a place that when you're there, there's absolute safety and peace. Just see this place. Look around you. See what it looks like. It may be built of walls of stone. It may be a secret place in a forest. It may be somewhere on a beach or a mountaintop. This is your creation. This is your safe place. As long as you're safe, this is perfect for you. You may have actually visited this place, and like I said, it could just be imagination. Either way is fine. You will never be harmed here. This is where you are one with God. So bring this place into your awareness and notice that along with safety, there is tremendous beauty and a deep feeling of peace and love. This is a place you enjoy fully. There is never a threat to your serenity here. It is a place you want to return to often. See this place wrapping its loving and protective arms around you. Just feel the embrace. Relax into it. And know that these loving and protective arms that you feel around you right now, this is the fullness of God within you. God is a part of you on a level far deeper than the air that you breathe, the water you drink, the blood running through your veins. God is part of you at the deepest of all levels. And this is where you can find that beautiful sanctuary See in this place a beautiful and comfortable place to sit. It could be a chair. It might be a log. Depends on where you are. Just find a very comfortable place to sit. It may even just be a soft patch of grass. Hear this place calling to you. Feel it drawing you close, and know this place offers purest love and peace. This is a place you can rest and take time to look within to the truth that this place you have found is you. It's within you. Again, look around at the beauty of the place. See the peace, see the love, feel it all. This is your sanctuary, and it remains with you always. This space is sacred. This is a space you can visit anytime you desire. This is a space that you're going to feel deeper love, deeper peace. This is a space where God is always waiting with open arms. This is a space where you can be reminded of your purest oneness with God. This is a space you can rest and realize the complete wholeness that is you and God as one. So feel the presence of God within you now. Realize the perfect truth that God is within you always. Feel this truth. Embrace this truth. Knowing this truth, taking a deep breath now and just anchor this knowing, and then release. Take another deep breath and anchor in God's presence throughout your entire being and in all things. And as you release your breath, let go of all that prevents you from fully realizing your oneness with God. Taking one more deep breath and immerse yourself into oneness with God. And as you release this breath, allow it to be an expression of God's love and peace from you to the world. Now return to your gentle rhythmic breathing. Stay in the presence of God. Stay in the fullness of your truth with God. Embrace the love of God that is within you, and allow this sanctuary to be a place where you can more fully realize God's truth in you. So we're going to go into a stillness for just a few minutes, and we're going to allow you to take this time to familiarize yourself with this place and with the feelings associated with this place, so that you know you have a resource to return to anytime you feel the illusion of separation. So go now into stillness, and if you become distracted in any way, return to your gentle rhythmic breathing. Return to your sanctuary. Return to the truth of God within you. Go into the stillness now. know that God is within you always. God is omnipotent, which means no other power will ever be stronger. Which means that there is no other power. Any other power that we may see is an illusion. God's omnipotence is all there is. We see the truth that God's omnipresent, that God is here within us. It is everywhere that we see. There is no place where God is not. We see the truth of an omniscient God. God knows all things. Since God is all-knowing and we are one with God, we know all things that we need to know. We simply tune in within our hearts, within our spirit, our soul, and embrace our oneness with God. In doing this, we live truth. We live peace. We live love. So begin making your way back to this room. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. The truth of you as one with God will guide you and keep you safe and loved in all things, in all times. Open your recognition of this truth. Deepen your awareness of this truth. Allow this truth to resonate deeply within. Your awareness and your knowing, when allowed to connect to this truth, will guide you always. Knowing this is our truth, we say thank you, Father, Mother, God. Amen.